Have you ever wondered how extinct species would look like in the present day? Don't the huge fossils we can see in museums catch your attention? Today, we will talk about one of the most famous extinct animals, the dodo. The dodo, Rapus cucullatus, was a flightless bird that lived on the island of Mauritius in the Indian Ocean. This species became extinct in the late 17th century, around 1681, and is one of the most famous extinct animals due to its peculiar appearance and its history. The dodo was first described by European explorers in the 16th century. Its extinction happened so quickly that by the time it was studied in more detail, it was already almost gone. Subscribe to my channel so it doesn't go extinct. You'll help me a lot to create more videos like this one. It was a fairly large bird, about 1 meter tall, around 3 2 feet. It had a robust body, a large curved beak, and short legs. Its plumage was grayish with some lighter areas on the abdomen and tail. It is believed that the dodo was herbivorous, meaning feeding on fruits, seeds, roots, and possibly some insects. Its diet was varied due to the diversity of plants available on the island. The dodo only lived on the island of Mauritius, an isolated place with no land predators, which allowed the dodo to evolve without developing flight abilities. The fact that it had no natural predators made it initially unafraid of humans. But then, why exactly did it go extinct? As I always remind you, all the drawings you see me creating on my channel are available in my online store. You can find the link in the description and in the pinned comment. When humans arrived on the island of Mauritius in the late 16th century, they brought with them animals such as rats, pigs, monkeys, and others, which not only competed for resources but also prey on the dodo's nests. Pigs and rats ate the dodo's eggs, while the monkeys could have also destroyed its habitat. This disrupted the natural balance of the island, where the dodo had not evolved to deal with these new predators. Without its eggs, its reproduction was severely affected. Furthermore, the European colonists and other human groups who arrived on the island began hunting the dodo. Although the dodo wasn't afraid of humans because there were no natural predators on the island, this made it especially vulnerable to hunting. It is estimated that the colonists hunted the dodo for its meat, which, although not particularly tasty, was an easily accessible resource. With the arrival of humans came deforestation, urbanization, and the alteration of the island's natural environment. The nesting areas and natural resources the dodo needed to survive were reduced. This made the species' survival even more difficult. The dodo had relatively slow reproduction. As its habitat became unsafe and predators increased, its reproduction rate wasn't enough to sustain the population growth. Moreover, due to the hunting and nest destruction, the species couldn't recover quickly. In summary, the dodo wasn't prepared for the perfect storm that formed around it. Humans, once again, in their desire for selfish conquest and narcissistic desires, caused a simple animal to pay the price for a party from which we haven't learned much, as we humans continue to perpetuate a lifestyle at the expense of other species sharing the planet with us. But, is it possible to bring the dodo back? Like the video if you also want to bring back the dodo. Reviving an extinct species like the dodo would be an extremely complicated task, but in theory, it's not impossible, thanks to today's scientific advancements. So, what methodologies or obstacles might we encounter? The main obstacle bringing back the dodo is the lack of well-preserved DNA. Although dodo bones and feathers have been found, these materials do not contain enough or good quality DNA to perform successful cloning or genetic engineering. The dodo's DNA has been exposed to decomposing for over 300 years, making it much harder to work with compared to more recently extinct species. On the other hand, CRISPR is a gene editing technique that allows DNA to be modified with great precision. Some scientists are exploring the possibility of using this technique to edit the genome of a related species to the dodo, such as the pigeon or messenger pigeon. If you didn't know, the dodo belongs to the same family as pigeons. The idea would be to identify key genes of the dodo, such as those related to its size, physical characteristics, and behavior, and then introduce those genes into the DNA of a bird related to the dodo, like the pigeon. Although CRISPR has been successfully used on various animals, the idea of bringing back an ancient extinct species like the dodo is a challenge due to the lack of high-quality DNA and the complexity of recreating a species from limited genetic fragments. Cloning is another method that has been used with some endangered species, like the case of animals in zoos. But for cloning, intact DNA of the species we want to clone is required. In the case of the dodo, the available DNA is very fragmented and not complete enough for this type of procedure. Additionally, we would need another species, a bird related to the dodo, to carry out the cloning process, which makes the task even more complicated due to the genetic difference between the dodo and the current species. But, even if the dodo were revived, its original habitat has changed so much that it would be difficult to successfully reintroduce it. Therefore, there are ethical considerations and debates about whether it would be right to revive the dodo and the possible ecological consequences of doing so. The truth is, I believe the ethical thing would have been not let it go extinct in the first place. In summary, while science advances, reviving the dodo is not possible in the short term due to these challenges. Today, the dodo is a symbol of extinction and is frequently used as an example of a species that have disappeared due to human intervention. Would you like to see it walking around us again? I certainly would.